Last week, the Detroit Lakes School Board and the Detroit Lakes Teachers Union reached a contract agreement on a 2-year deal for a 5.34% increase. Now, I've not been a big union supporter for a number of reasons, and this is a prime example as to why I'm not a big union supporter. Now, 5.34 sounds like a lot. Now, I understand that it's not actually a 5.34% raise in actual salary. A lot of that has to do with benefits. Some of it is mandated by the school district. If you're talking strictly take-home pay, minus the steps and lanes, which is educational opportunities teachers take in order to get more degrees and therefore they're paid more money while teaching, it's 0.68% of actual dollar increase on 1 year and a 1.1% increase in the second year. So you're really talking about a 1.78% overall increase, flat line for everybody, plus a little bit in benefits and in the teacher's retirement, which was mandated by the state of Minnesota. The steps and lanes increases are only for those teachers, as I mentioned, that take additional classes and then get additional education, therefore get a higher salary. Although I'm hard-pressed to believe just because a teacher gets more education, they're actually worth more because they can teach better. I really believe they get more education. They just become more educated themselves. Maybe that does translate into classroom work, but I don't really believe it does, personally. But beyond that is the issue of public unions. That's really what this is about. In Wisconsin, we're going to have a recall election next year over public unions. Public unions did not exist in the public sector until the 1960s. And since then, we've seen the cost of city government, county government, and school districts go up astronomically. For instance, this 5.42% increase in the teachers' salaries will cost you and I as taxpayers an additional $836,187 over the 2-year life of that contract. Now, where does that money come from? Because as far as I know, schools aren't getting much additional revenue. The state of Minnesota continues to borrow money from them in order to meet their budgets, although a little bit of that money has been given back. School districts are struggling. And I'm not saying these teachers don't work hard. They absolutely do. But can our local residents afford these increases? Let's go back to the last 2-year contract. That had been for the 2009 through 2011 school year. It was a 5.81% increase. At that time, the economic recession had hit, and almost every school district in northwest Minnesota took a freeze. But not Detroit Lakes. They still got a 5.81% increase and made that, well, they didn't make, this is what it cost the district, you and I as taxpayers, $854,021. Let's go back to the 07-09 contract. That was a 10.87% increase for the teachers and the school district, which cost you and I as taxpayers $1,440,628. That means over the last 3 teacher contracts, the cost to taxpayers has increased for teachers $3,130,836. That's just their salaries. I'm not talking about taking care of all the retirement benefits and everything like that. This is unsustainable. And I'm not saying, again, teachers don't work hard. Heck, I'm the son of 2 teachers. Maybe you didn't know that. But what I do believe is that teachers are fairly compensated now. The average teacher in northwest Minnesota, with benefits included in their package, makes about $50,000 a year. A lot of that is, in fact, their benefits, retirement, etc. Their take-home is much closer to $30,000 a year. However, the average full-time employee in Becker County makes about $25,400 a year. So they're paid well above what the average full-time employee does. And it's not a bad salary considering you have your summers off, every weekend, and your holidays off. Cost of living is going up. I get that. It's going up on everybody. But you've got to remember, whenever these contracts are signed with any public sector, it's you and I, the taxpayers, that are paying that raise. Are teachers worth this much money? Some are. But I think that it's much better to judge teachers as individuals than as a group. And the unions don't allow you to do that. However, in this latest contract agreement, the teachers union will now look at QComp. Discuss it. Have a dialogue. This is something a few years ago administrators wanted to discuss the teachers union about going to a QComp model, which is a model that teachers are paid based on their performance. It was soundly rejected by the teachers union. and would have meant for hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars over the lifespan of it, of money for the school district. Money they can use to give those teachers those raises. But with $3,130,000 in the last few years, where do you think that money is going to come from?